Welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Landsmeet, my brand new experimental interview-based Dragon Age podcast, where every week I bring on a new guest and we talk about Dragon Age. Today I am incredibly excited to say that I am joined with the amazing artist Fela. Fela,
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited. This is my first podcast I'm ever recording, and I'm
Yes.
so happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm honestly so excited that you wanted to come on in the first place because I love your artwork and seeing all your content on Instagram and, the cosplays that you do. And I'm like, you know what? I see, this up and coming artist who is doing Twitch streams and it's just really building a great rep and just putting out amazing content. I'm like, you know what? I really would like you on this podcast. So I'm so glad that you took the invitation and we're doing this. Like,
Oh,
hell
thank
yeah.
you so much. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Let's just get straight into this, Fela. I may say Fela. I was just informed by Fela that I've been saying her name wrong the entire time. It's not. It's not Fela. It's Fela. So I'm gonna try and remember to pronounce it correctly. Fela, what does Dragon Age mean to you in any capacity whatsoever?
Dragon Age is one of the very few games that taught me very important life lessons.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's also a world for me where I can, just escape and enjoy the amazing lore. It is a lot of lore that I still have to catch up, but it's just amazing to see how a game, what kind of choices you make, that
Yeah.
the consequences can be so massive. I have never experienced something like that in a game before.
And the first time for you it's been with Dragon Age,
Yeah.
where you feel those ripple effects of just the consequences and the choices that you've made, and it's like, wow,
Exact-
that actually played an effect. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I think is also very memorable in Dragon Age is also like the character writing.
Yeah,
Like you have pretty simple written characters, you have very complex written characters, you have like a huge range, which every part is very important for the game and for the story. So it's really great.
Do you have any favorite Dragon Age characters? Do you even have a single favorite?
People who know me already know the answer.
I know the answer already. I know. I'm just let everyone else know.
I mean, beside Cullen, it's also Anders.
So what do you like? We'll go with Colin first. What do you like about Colin? What is it that makes it for Colin for you?
Sorry that I'm laughing, but this
It's
will
all
be a
good.
monologue now. I'm so sorry.
Here we go.
The thing I like about Cullen is he is present in all three Dragon Age.
Yeah,
So
true. Yeah.
you can also see a huge character development throughout the series, like from being this, insecure Templar who really suffered through this whole circle thing that was going on, and then being that commander who is slowly doubting his work,
Yeah.
and then having a fresh start in Dragon Age Inquisition, and also fighting against his inner demons. I can very much relate to him. I think that's one of the reasons why I really like him.
Absolutely. It shows that people can change, I think,
Yeah.
As much as people develop in BioWare games and you see different sides to them, I think with Cullen you do see a character who develops their personality entirely. He goes from despising mages to potentially romancing a mage in Inquisition if you go down that route. It really is very, very good character development of just seeing this character flip.
Exactly, yeah.
So then Anders. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
where... Alright, no, I'm joking. So what is it about what is it about Anders that you like?
Well, I mean, besides that, he loves cats.
Okay, that's adorable. Yeah.
I just think he has a very huge impact in Dragon Age 2. This is I'm only speaking facts here. He is making some huge changes within Dragon Age 2, and when you played Awakening, you can also see that when Justice came across how he changed through Dragon Age 2. I think people sometimes misinterpret him.
Yeah.
And he is one of the, maybe also the most controversial character throughout the series. And I think we need such characters. They're important for every story.
Absolutely, yeah. Like that's one of the reasons I do love Solas. While he does have a certain controversy to his character, but it's not without reason, and there's method behind his madness. Yes, he does want to commit mass genocide, but at the same time, it's the moral ambiguity around it, the fact that he thinks he's saving more people in the process. And I think it's good to be questioned on your morals and what you do believe and what you don't believe. I think it's, you know, in a fictitious space at least, you know, we're not supporting any of that, but it's good to have those questions in that fictitious space where it's like, okay, so what is he doing? What he's doing seems to be for the greater good. What he's going to do in Solas's case is to save all of the modern and the previous elves by redoing what he originally created. That sounds like it's a morally decent choice to make. It's just that obviously it will see the destruction of the current world that we live in, and with our characters in that world, it's therefore we deem it as bad. And I think the only way we would actually get a true measure of if his action was good or bad is to see it go down eventually. But even if he is not successful in that mission, it's still good to see those characters who are morally complex and why they believe those things and what makes it for them and what, you know, their core values and why they believe that sort of thing for a reason. And I like that, you know, in Dragon Age. It really pushes those questions. You know, you can love those characters without supporting their beliefs. You know what I mean? Like, I love Solas, but I don't support what he's going to do. That's why I do intend on killing him. Cover your ears, Solar Balance. But I do intend on stabbing him and killing him if I can. If assuming that my Inquisitor has a choice in that. If it's my new hero, I don't know. Yeah, it just goes to show that you can like and love these characters, but not actually support what they believe in. Because I don't know that many people who actually want to see Thedas burn. Because, I mean, if you are a Solar Villain out there and you do want that, I mean, Solas has also left you in the world to burn too. So you're essentially going to be killing yourself if you do want Solas to succeed. So it's that, you know, I love those questions of Dragon Age. I think that's one of the reasons why it's one of my favourite franchises too, because it delves into that. And then with Andits, you've got the whole thing around, you know, mages versus Templars and then blowing up a chantry. You know, there's a lot of real life attachment to that, but that's not what I focus on. I think it's the questions that it brings out is what I enjoy.
Yeah, and I mean, when you romance Anders in Dragon Age 2, it's even harder for you to decide.
Yeah.
If you, I don't know, can I spoil here?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If I should kill him or not.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had my first playthrough and I had this decision, I didn't know what to choose. I left him alive, but you know, it was a very weird feeling to do that. And I think if I would go the other way, I would feel weird as well, because being confronted with is such a decision to kill somebody that you actually love. It's it's hard.
Absolutely. Like, I say I will attempt to kill Solas on my non-Levelin playthrough, but on my Levelin playthrough, obviously I'm going to do the opposite. Like, you know, I think it's okay, it'll be alright for me to attempt to kill Solas with my canon Josephine, the main Trevelyan. But if I was playing at Levelin and they were imported into Dragon Age 4, like, that's going to be a suffocating choice to make. Like, I don't, you know, that's going to be hard because you're killing someone who you love. And that's why I love BioWare. It's tragic, you know, it's like...
It is.
This guy just blew up a chantry and you love him. Do you think that he should have some punishment? You know, you might not be pissed off because you could be a mage, but at the same time that, you know, he has done something in vengeance, or you could say injustice, but you know, he's killed innocent people. And it's like, I love the moral conundrum of it, because it's not easy. It's a tricky choice to make, and it's supposed to be. And I think, you know, not going off too much of a tangent, but that's why sometimes the fandom can be a little bit too much, because we're supposed to have these unique playthroughs and opinions. And I think it's a little hypocritical when the fandom is like, no, you must do this set playthrough, or you must like this character. It's like, well, no, because we all have these different intricate playthroughs that define our experiences. And some of us love Anders, some of us hate Anders. But I think instead of bogging each other down in what they did, I think we should instead just respect that the fact that these games have so many choices and consequences, and we're allowed to do that instead of being nitpicky and like, well, you didn't, you know. Anyway,
I just to put my 5 cents on it, I mean, it's a role play game. We have different choices and everybody is up to choose whatever they want. So I don't think there should be, like, I have experienced something like that. Someone came up to me saying, oh, you're playing as a Koosland and you're romancing Alistair, but this is so wrong. You should play as a male mage and romance Morgan. And I'm like, dude, you can do that. You know, I don't care. I play my game like I want to play it because I enjoy it that way.
Absolutely. Something, you know, in relation to that, like something I do in my first ever playthrough of Dragon Age is I just portray the new hero as myself. And that is just so I can, in that moment, make the decisions that I would make if I was in that situation. And I think for a first playthrough, it's just fun to do because you don't know the choices and consequences. You don't know what will happen. And you go, okay, if I was in this scenario and I had to choose between Alistair or Hawke, real life me would probably choose Hawke to stay. I'm sorry.
Really?
Everybody. I love Alistair too much. I love Alistair too much. But, you know, but when I'm making a character who like has a decent relationship with Varric and got to know Hawke a bit, and this character isn't a big fan of the Grey Wardens and they're specced into this and they're a mage, they may choose Alistair to stay. So I think it's, you know, I don't like people being like, well, how dare you have this set playthrough when my first set playthrough is myself, you know, a boring ass human noble warrior or rogue, and that's it, you know. But that's the playthrough that I like. It's fun and it's just what I do. And yeah, I think gatekeeping content is, for me, it's something that I despise. It's like when you're like, oh, you've only been a Dragon Age fan for a year, you're not a true fan, you didn't do the Solas, or you didn't do the Anders, or you didn't do whatever, romance, you're not a true fan, or you have, and it's just like, guys, it's not gatekeep content. We love this universe, we love the characters, we love it all for different reasons, so just celebrate that.
Yeah, if I have to decide if I would
leave
Alistair or Hawke, I think I would leave Hawke in the fate. I know. I just, you know, Alistair is my first crush, so
yeah, Alistair's too good.
He's too good for this world.
I think for my first playthrough, I remember like it was 2014 and it was a weekend. I was at college at the time, and I just spent this weekend sobbing, being like, no, I had to choose between Alistair or Hawke, and I think I did choose Alistair to stay, and it was awful.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Alistair.
I left in my playthrough. Okay, I have to say something, and I know people will hate me for this. I skipped Dragon Age 2.
Right.
So I didn't do Hawke in Dragon Age Inquisition, but I played it afterwards.
Yeah.
When I had this decision, I had Stroud and Hawke, and because sometimes the English-German translation is a bit weird, you sometimes misinterpret things.
Right.
And I accidentally left Hawke in the fate, and
no!
Why did the mustache guy?
To be fair, when I first played Inquisition, right, I'm gonna get called out for this. Don't call me out, guys. I didn't play Legacy DLC, Dragon Age 2's Legacy DLC, where you meet Corypheus. So when I first saw Corypheus, I was like, oh, it's that dude from DLC. I'm so glad to see him, because obviously I didn't know in DA2 that you killed him, and all I knew was that he was the first Magister. And I thought this was an epic reveal for the Elder One to be Corypheus. But then everybody who had played Legacy DLC was like, oh, it was bloody Corypheus. And I didn't get that same feeling because I'd never played it before, so I was a lot more excited about the idea of Corypheus as a villain. Yeah. And that was great for me. Obviously, I've gone back and played it now, but I was like, oh, one of the first Magisters who wrote the very heavens, and, you know, he spoke to Dumat, and now he's the villain against the Inquisition. That's amazing. And everyone else was like, oh, this is the dude. This is the guy who was in DA2. I killed him. And I get that now, but at the time, I was like, oh, this is so exciting. So, yeah, I guess it's just a matter of perspective, really. But, yeah, you know, again, goes into the point, don't gatekeep fans because they haven't played a certain thing. Like, I get it. It can be frustrating in some regard when you have had an amazing playthrough. You know, speaking for myself, romancing Solas or romancing Josephine, and you want others to experience that. But there's a difference between, like, telling people to, like, oh, you should do that, than actually being toxic and then commanding everybody to do that. So, you know, there's a nuance there. Like, I get it. You all want to celebrate what we love and the characters that we enjoy and the playthroughs that we love. But at the same time, like, also respect people's opinions, you know. Yeah. But anyway, how excited are you for the next Dragon Age, fella?
I'm very excited.
Yay.
I mean, I'm in the fandom since 2019, so It's not that long ago. So kudos to everybody who is waiting so long for Dragon Age 4. I couldn't have this patience.
Yeah.
No, I'm very excited, and I have read Tivinton Nights and the comics that were up, and I really well, I mean, most of the characters aren't in my head right now, but there are some who I think. Well, I don't know their names. I have a mind of a goldfish. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. No, it's all good.
But there, of course, there are for sure some characters that I think we will see in DA4, but maybe I would spoil some people, you know.
Honestly,
so.
I mean, we can put a quick little spoiler here, but honestly, I think people who listen to these kind of things, they probably already know the stuff. So I think it's honestly all good to spoil.
Okay. I would like to see... I don't know his name anymore. I don't know if his name was Marcus? I don't know.
Oh, Marius.
Marius! Yeah.
Marius,
I think he will. I think he will be in DA4. I have a feeling.
He'd be great to see. He'd be really cool to see him pop up and be like, "Yo, I'm back in Marafis again." I would via 150%. When I interviewed Nunzio and Christina, they both told me that Freema Agiaman was the model that they used to kind of draft Via. Freema Agiaman is an actress who's in Doctor Who. She's amazing. So if she could be a voice actress in Dragon Age, that would be the best. So BioWare have a really good reputation with getting actors who were in Doctor Who and Torchwood. Gareth David Lloyd, Eve Miles, the guy who plays Araminda Ferrantium. I could go on. There are so many people who have been in Doctor Who and Torchwood who are then in Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Freema Agiaman is also one of those actors/actresses where she has been in Torchwood and Doctor Who. And there's a hypothetical, if Vaya was in DA4, she would be voice acted by Freema Agiaman. So I'm all for that. I would absolutely love that to happen. It depends if I want to do it. It depends, you know, if we're going to get more comics. It depends on so many factors. But it has been like one of the biggest wishes I have for the next Dragon Age is just to see or mention or a mention of more to hear so you can get Freema Agiaman, but to have Vaya in the next game. Because she's a fantastic character. I think the thing that I attached to Vaya is when the comics came out is when I started creating proper Dragon Age content. I did a lot of Andromeda content in 2016 and into 2017, but then the comics came out, the Nunzio Philippus and Christina Weir comics came out around 2017, 2018, and that was when I got into Dragon Age in terms of like creating proper content for it. Like those comics have served as the weight because they've came out yearly, at least a little bit yearly since then. I just have a huge attachment to Vaya over the past 3-4 years, and I don't want that journey to end. I get it, it's okay if it has, but she's such an iconic, awesome character. It's like, come on, BioWare. Don't waste this, you know, so but we'll see.
Yeah, there is potential, definitely.
Yeah, there is, for sure. And,
yeah.
You know, there's narrative there for them to come back, so we'll see. If anything, I would at least like more comics, but we'll see. Again, that's something that, unfortunately, we're all used to, is just waiting. Waiting in this drought of nothing.
Yeah, I mean...
It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, we still have some time until DA4 is coming out, so maybe there will be a comic. I really hope so.
Me too.
It would be cool.
Or a book, like Tivinton Nights served perfectly, because we can still churn content out of that. Like, it's like, oh, yes. I'm sure there'll be more media and content coming. As long as the game's taking its time, it's fine. Obviously, I'm being a little, you know, annoying little fan, but it's just nice to have material while we wait for the game, that's all. You know, it is what it is. But so you were introduced into the fandom in 2019. How did you get into the fandom then? What was that like?
I was playing Witcher 3 a lot before joining to Dragon Age. And my ex-boyfriend told me, well, maybe you can play Dragon Age. I think this would be something for you. This was the biggest regret he had. Because since that, I'm totally addicted to Dragon Age. I mean, I had my struggles in the start when Ostaga is amazing.
Yeah.
But then you have like this lothering part, and this was mostly the part where I just stopped playing. And one day I thought, okay, you know what? You will stream this and you will get through lothering. And this was the best decision I've ever made. Because
amazing.
then I was totally into Dragon Age, and I finished Origins within the weekend. I played day and night. It was insane. Yeah, I mean, I had the time because I also was unemployed by that time. So I used the time, you know, not wasting it and playing some good games. And it was Dragon Age, so yeah. And now I'm playing it ever since.
Amazing, that is awesome. So 2019 and now 2021, still waiting for the next game. But no, like honestly, like that's still just a perfect time to come in. And I think 2018 was when we saw that Dreadwolf teaser. But no, it really is a good time to come in, get all
Yeah.
the scoops of lore, and then be like, okay, now we're ready for whatever's next.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite Dragon Age game?
It's Inquisition.
Same for
I
me too.
just love to I just love to explore, and there are so many beautiful areas you can see in Inquisition. But I would say when it comes to consequences and decisions, then Dragon Age Origins is the
Oh,
better
yeah,
choice, because I
yeah.
think that the story is more immersive there. But all in all, I think, well, Inquisition is also my favorite because of the character creator, of course. It's really amazing. It's one of the, maybe the best creator I have ever had in a game. Yeah, I also like that we have so many choices for romances. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And how diverse they all are from each other, you know? Like, if you want Iron Bull, you got Iron Bull, or you got a nice Disney princess Josephine romance, you got a
Yay.
heartbreak and Solas romance, you got a really cute, lovey-dovey Cullen romance. Like, so much variety there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's something that I hope that BioWare do in the future is, you know, bringing out those more diverse romances. Maybe some that are more
Absolutely.
leaning towards asexual, where you don't actually have a romance scene in particular, but it's more of this amazing friendship. And then I imagine you could have the opposite of that, where it is just hardcore whatever stuff that you get from Iron Bull, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know. So like, I do hope that they cater towards more of. I personally like the asexual stuff because I like the romance part of it. You know, it's not just the scene; it's more the lovey-dovey stuff, the cute. You know, like I'm a Josephine romancer. You know, like the hugs
Yeah.
and the fighting for her love and the little gifts and the talk in the Orlesian docks. It's just so cute, and hearing her backstory when she killed someone. I mean, not exactly the most romantic conversation, but in the context, it is really romantic, where you're looking over the ocean and it's a beautiful nice day in Orlais. I'd love that,
Yeah.
but to the extent of Antiva and Tevinter and yeah, all that stuff.
It's focused more on the emotional bond between
Yeah, that's
between
it.
the
Yeah.
Inquisitor and Josephine, and I also like her romance very much
Yes.
because of that. Because it's like, as you said, it's like this Disney princess,
Yeah.
and I wish I could give her everything she wants, but she's my princess.
Exactly. And she deserves it. She deserves everything and more. She is probably one of the most adorable BioWare characters, dare I say. Just because you never really see her mad. You never really see her get angry. She just is always sweet. She's amazing. She is such a great character.
Yeah, I love the moment. Well, it was very unexpected when I played it the first time, where you do the pranks with Sarah, and then you are in the tavern, and then Josephine stomps in,
Oh,
and
yes.
you, and it's so adorable.
Amazing. Oh, I love it.
She's even sweet when she's angry. That's
Exactly. Yeah. She just can't even be angry for too long.
Yeah, that was one thing where I was very upset that we couldn't romance Krem, because I think that would also have been amazing to
That
romance
would have
them.
absolutely been amazing. Yeah, like maybe we'll see them again in the future. Krem's from Tevinter originally, like maybe
There could be a possibility for him to be mentioned at least, you know?
Yeah. I think something that Lambo mentioned last time was if we see Dorian again and they're romancing Iron Bull, maybe we could see them there, and then even see Krem like at a tavern local by, you know. If Iron Bull is in Tevinter, that'd be really cool to see. Speaking of which, what is something that you would actually like to see in the next game?
I would be happy to see like all the locations in Tevinter, maybe Navarra as well. That would be cool. What I really miss is like these consequences and harsher decisions. We need more drama. We need more angst, guys.
Yes, I agree.
I want to suffer through this game.
Make it tragic.
My bad decision. Yeah, make it tragic.
Make it tragic. That's the thing about Origins and Inquisition. I do love Inquisition more than Origins because I relate to it more, and it's just, in my opinion, parts of it are just a completely better experience. I love Origins, obviously, devout Dragon Age fan regardless, but for me, Inquisition takes the cake. But critiquing it a bit, Origins, like the way it does choice and consequence, there is so much. It's amazing. You have control of so much dialogue in that game, and I get it, you have a silent protagonist, so it's less work to do with a voice protagonist. Literally, after every single piece of dialogue, you are being asked a question, you are being asked to respond. There's so much more dialogue in that game. There's so much more responses, there's so much more dynamic, content and choices and consequences that fall into that game. And it just stems to the big ol' origin stories. Depending on your race, your class, and your origin, you are then opened up to so many different dialogue choices, options, choices, and consequences just based on that. And it just snowballs throughout the entire game. And it's something that I'd like to see again. It's just how deep Origins is because of that fact, that because of that system, and how it just has so many effects into it. But even more than that, yeah, just the choices and consequences you can make in Origins are a lot more dynamic than they were in the prior games.
Yeah.
You know, like choosing how how you deal with Connor, choosing how you deal with the elves in the Nature of the Beast questline, choosing who you have at the Landsmeet, choosing who you have at the battle into the game, choosing what happens if you have the Dark Ritual. Not just so many. Whereas in Inquisition, I only remember there are like a couple of pivotal choices, like who's Ruler of Valais, who's a Divine, who did you side with Major Templars. Yeah, there aren't that many, to be honest, and I don't feel that different or nuanced. Yes, you hear about that in the end credit scene stuff, but in Origins you feel it. You just killed a child, or you just saved a child by by getting the mages. You just did this because you feel those choices immediately. You just killed Alistair to get Logain. You feel that, and I think in Inquisition it's more of a side effect. Like, oh, you didn't side with the charges, therefore Iron Bull is going to betray you in the future. And that's great, but Origins had those immediate effects, those immediate choices and consequences, and those long-standing choices and consequences, where it just felt overall an incredibly dynamic game, and that's something that is definitely lacking in Inquisition. I don't want to discredit 2 because 2 was made in 11 months. It is what it is. Whereas Inquisition was made in 3 years, so like...
Yeah, but I also would like to have more endings, like in Origins.
Yes.
I really have like, I mean, in Inquisition, when you play Trespasser, you have like this one ending.
Yeah.
I want to have 3 or 4, I don't know how many endings, depending on the consequences, because you can have so many. I mean, have you played Detroit Become Human?
I have not. I really want to play it, but I've only seen parts of it.
Okay, I highly recommend it because you have, I don't know how many combinations of endings you have, but it's a lot.
Oh, wow.
And it shouldn't be like 100 combinations of endings in Dragon Age, but like in Origins, that you can die, or you sacrifice yourself, or you stay alive with your romance or not, and I just want these dramatic and drastic endings. That would be cool.
Absolutely, because it...
Romance.
Yes, and romance, yeah. Because the thing about Inquisition is, Trespasser, although it is amazing and I adore it, does feel like it's less of an ending to Inquisition and more of a prologue to Dragon Age 4. Like, it does definitely end a lot of tie-ins to Inquisition, but then it also creates more, which I get it, an ending should do that. But at the same time, like, that's why we're always hankering for Dragon Age, because Trespasser ended on such a note where it's like, okay, what's next? As opposed to it kind of being a full circle ending, it was just like a cliffhanger. Like, alright, Solas is out there, my Inquisitor's lost his hand, Inquisition's over, what the heck is going on now? And obviously you want that, but like all of its tones and themes of the Cunari, Solas, Tevinter now just has us speculating for years of what is this game going to be about. And that in itself has kind of been a bit harmful to just BioWare and their future game of us speculating to oblivion about it. I think multiple choice is something that would be cool to see. It, having different outcomes, and where it is completely different, as opposed to it being like, at the end of the day, you had 2 choices and that's it. Inquisition, Solas, whatever. I think it would be really cool to have a completely different outcome. But I suppose that does depend on what direction Dragon Age 4 is going to go in with its narrative. Like, is it even going to be in a state where it's like, okay, yeah, you have a multiple choice ending because Solas is going to do this, Mephal's going to do that, the Veil, whatever. So it's going to be interesting. It really is what they're going to do. Like, it's going to be exciting to see, but I have no clue. I have no clue if we're going to be able to let the Veil come down, if that's going to be a choice, if it's just going to happen anyway, if that's not even going to happen, if, I don't know, like, the potential's amazing, but that's just the potential of it, like, what are you going to do with Solas? What do you hypothetically think that you'd like to do with him?
I would like to convince him not to destroy the world. That would be great, for the sake of my Hawk and Inquisitor and Kuzland. That would be good. Please don't destroy the world.
Are you going to convince him, like, to step down, or do you actually just want to kill him?
Oh, yeah, that's a hard question. I would like to tell him to step down, but if he doesn't want to, then I'm sorry, dude. I mean, you were a good friend, but I don't want the world to get destroyed. So let's see how it goes.
I think right now, with the way I think about Solas, I don't see him as the greater evil. But he said to Llewellyn that he does not want her to see what he'll become. And like, okay, so he's not at that evil point yet, but he's going to become it, as you said, and as we've kind of seen in Twin Nights with the Dreadwolf and the Fade. So it's like, okay, right, the Solas that we saw at End of Trespasser, I would never dream of killing because I love that Solas, but he himself is going to become something evil. He's walking the journey of death, so we can assume that means evil, we can assume that means ghastly things. So I think maybe that's a Solas that we might feel like needs to die. The current Solas I would never dream of killing, but the one that he's going to become, the person, the man he's going to become, the wolf that he could potentially become. I think that we need to see what that's going to be like, but that could be an actual proper evil threat. The only choice could be to, I mean, it's BioWare, it's not going to be the only choice, but it could literally be like a choice of, all right, he is that evil, he's already killing magisters, he's already getting spirits and demons to serve him. This guy needs to be put down. Like, I don't know how else we're going to defeat him. I would love to have a philosophical debate with him, but like, he is not stepping down. He's becoming something evil. So it's going to be interesting to see.
I just think, when I read Twin Nights, I think Solas is so driven into this plan that he has, and it would be so good that when you have this conversation with him of confrontation, that you basically wake him up, like Solas, wake up, you're not the person you are. Just imagine if you would be Llewellyn in that point. That I just hope for it that the Inquisitor will have the chance to at least convince him to wake up from his and stop his plans. That would just be perfect.
That would be that would be ideal. Like having your Inquisitor be like, no, this isn't the, forget who you were in the past. This is not who you are now. You don't need to be that. You can be something else. Like that would be so much angst, but I love it. Like the right amount of angst of look at who you are, look at what you've done. You don't need to do this. I understand why you are doing what you are doing. You think it's for the greater good, but you're going to kill me. You're going to kill this world. You're going to kill everyone in it. And you've seen, you do care for this world. You do care for us, as evident with Llewellyn and the Inquisitor. So, it'd be so good to see that.
I mean, you always have a choice. You don't have to play this role. You always have a choice to take another course.
Absolutely. And I think maybe that is what they're already teasing with the fact that we do see the Dreadwolf at one corner and we see Solas on the other. Maybe BioWare are fully set up for like, okay, if you are going to play this game with the intention that you want to redeem Solas, maybe you can do that. But also if you want to stop him, or if, I don't know, like certain choices that you've done or whatever goes on in the next game and he just wants to fulfill his scheme, then he is the Dreadwolf. I think that might have some play into it. I think like based on that mural, which I know is concept art, it does seem like there may be some kind of choice. And obviously foreshadowed by Trespasser's ending, like, okay, he still is Solas, but at the same time, he is rising as a Dreadwolf to destroy the Veil. But he's still Solas, so there might be a chance to redeem what he is. I hope. That could just be complete speculation based on a mural, but it seems like it, and it's not BioWare. As much as Inquisition kind of in the end, it does have this kind of two choices: disband the Inquisition, don't disband it; redeem Solas, don't attempt to redeem Solas. I think when it comes to characters and character fates, they are so dynamic about that. Like
absolutely.
Logain, look at Logain. Can die in Landsmeet, can recruit him, and he can be an Inquisition, and he can have the Child of Morrigan. Complete dynamic antagonist who has a completely amazing journey. So I don't think it's going to be black and white Solas. It never has been with BioWare, and I do not think... I mean, Corypheus was black and white, okay. But...
Yeah.
There are exceptions. But I think with Solas, it's not going to be a case of black and white. He's such a morally great character. He's like Marmite. People love him, people hate him. I think there's going to be this in between. I think that it'd be too easy if he's redeemed or if he's killed. I think it needs to be some kind of like, actually, Solas isn't a real threat, or actually, I will not do my scheme, but there's a twist. Maybe you need to help me defeat the Avenurus, maybe you need to help me do this, maybe you need to help me with the Old Gods, maybe you need to help me stop the Blight, whatever. Like, that will be the ultimate subversion if Solas like, actually, I won't do what I said I'll do if you help me out. Or, if we had him as an ally. I know, complete whack, but... We don't know what the Avenurus are like. We don't know what Mafal's doing. Like, we don't know about the Titans. we don't know so many things. And Solas isn't evil. He's just prideful and foolish. Yes, he's doing bad things, but like he's still a good dude subjectively. Like, yeah, I mean, I know, but at the same time, like he's got a good moral compass. Obviously, it's subjective and it's controversial, but I see the good in him, and I know so many people do as well. And I think there is that part in him that is still there.
I mean, there is no black and white, and this is something that the Dragon Age series taught me, that there is no black and white. There are so many different shades of, not referring to the 50 Shades of Grey, but but there is so many shades of grey, and I think, well, I mean, in Dragon Age Origins, you had also this, there is no black and white, but then Dragon Age 2 came, and Dragon Age Inquisition, and there were so many different tones of greys that you can't say there is right and wrong.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, there are some objective things that you can say is evil, and that's what the point of the game is. Like, okay, yep, Darkspawn, archdemons, yep, objectively evil, they want to kill people. But then the game is full of these characters who defy what is good and what is bad, like Blackwall, for example. He's a liar, he's a snake, but at the same time, he is a really nice, humble dude, you know? And Solas, obviously, complicated character, does bad things, has done awful things in the past, making up for the past by doing more awful things, but believes it's right. Just an array of these characters who, they're not good or bad, they're just grey. They've done bad things. You know, Blackwall's killed children. But at the same time, he believes what he is doing. He's so, like, insecure about himself that he wants to be better than who he is, so he literally lives a fake identity. He just erases who he is. Yeah, Blackwall, he killed children.
I didn't knew that. I only know about the dog. that he just looked how the kids are treating this dog badly. But I think I missed that point.
Yeah.
Okay, one more reason to replay Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah, he killed Gaspard's targets, including children. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so Fela just learned that Blackwall has killed children. But you know, like, at the same time, though, like, he's trying to be better than a version of himself in the past. And it's so much to the fact that he hates himself, where he just creates a new identity and lives a lie just to forget, which is really traumatic. It really, like, you know, that's...
But I think that's, you know, when you judge over him then, and depending on how you decide, I mean, you can feel his regret and his, you know, how much he regrets to live the past life he did, all these lies that he took with him, and that he want to make things better. I always choose him to, like, letting him go, be a Grey Warden, and do what you need to do to be a better person for the future and for yourself. Even take that self-care, please. Take it seriously.
Take it, yeah. You got this, Blackwell. But that is the biggest reason I love Dragon Age, though, is because it's built on characters who have real life experiences. You know, it's and I know I say this all the time, but there are so many games where you play these games and the characters are just kind of monotone, boring, don't have any dimensions to them. And then you play a BioWare game and there's so much real stuff in these characters, and it's like, wow. Dorian, pinnacle example. David Gader's own story about coming out as a homosexual just enveloped in Dorian's character and dealing with his father. So many things, even just if it's about being prideful or feeling like you're better than people in regards to Solas, you know, living in this world, feeling like you're intelligent and you're smarter than everybody and you're better than everybody, and you have this kind of superiority complex. And then, you know, and exploring that through Solas, but then he gets to know someone for who they are and realizes that actually he's insecure, or well, not insecure, but like he isn't what he thought this world was or who these people were. You know, he actually underestimated them. And it's just all these things that we experience in real life. In these complicated characters. And I love that, because I see parts of myself in Vivienne when she's an absolute diva. Like, you know, she could, and I'm like, I would say that. And I know people despise that in her, and I'm like, yeah, I'd probably say that in real life. and then, you know, you see parts of yourself in Sarah where she's goofy and silly and just stupid. And I'm like, yep, that's definitely parts of me. And then Cole, I relate to Cole so much, where he's just kind of sometimes really quiet and awkward, and then just says like things, and people are like, all right, Cole, shut up. You know, like,
where people don't understand you, what you're saying. I can relate to that.
Like when I'm at work and talking about what I do in Dragon Age, and they're like, okay, cool, Yep. And I'm like, I don't understand. No. But, you know, and that's what I love about it. Like, there are so many real elements of these characters in Dragon Age, and that's what defines it overall. Is just like, yep, I see parts of myself in those characters, and even more than that, they also teach me more things about myself, and I learn about, you know, I don't learn about morality in Dragon Age, obviously, that's, you know, I don't, but I also see aspects of morality that I would question, and then I pick up on and go, actually, I never questioned that, but now I do. And obviously that's what media does as a whole, you know, it's the beauty of art, but it's cool to have that, you know, where you're looking at, and you're taking apart the politics, because I could never talk to someone on a completely alt perspective and political views and kind of persuade them otherwise. But Dragon Age can kind of show you that in a different light and be like, okay, you might not agree with this in real life, or you might, you know, disagree, whatever, with that. But with Dragon Age, it's that similar content, not exactly, but it's that similar context, but with a different perspective and a different light. And that's a great way to kind of, again, not learn from, because I'm not learning through politics of Dragon Age, but at the same time, just see that side to it, you know, it's really interesting. I love it.
Coming back to this everyday stuff. Well, I mean, that's the reason why I relate so much to Colin, and I know that some people don't understand it, but he had gone through PTSD, which I also had, and I had a very traumatic experience in my past, and he is showing me with, well, I mean, I'm not addicted or something, but he has this lyrium addiction, and I can some sort of relate to it with the struggle that he has to like pushing it away. And he taught me that, you know, you can allow yourself to get help, but you also have to remember that you need to go through this. You have to stay strong for yourself, that you can overcome this. That's one thing that I really like. You know, he tries to suppress his problems, but once he opens, he is aware of it, that the Inquisitor can't really help him that much. I mean, the Inquisitor can give him the comfort and the motivation to move on, but in the end, he is the person. He has to do it. And this is something that taught me, you know, to get through this. And he's my absolute comfort character. If someone comes at me because they hate him, I won't say anything, because it's their opinion, and I totally respect everyone's opinion. But I don't really care.
Exactly.
Because he has a different impact on me. And you know, this is also something what I experienced like on social media, like the fandom, because we had it earlier with gatekeeping and such. And
absolutely.
I also think that it's important to know that there is a huge difference between tolerance and acceptance. You can tolerate that someone plays the game differently, that they dislike a certain character, or that they only play as a rogue and you don't like rogues, okay? This is fine, but you don't have to accept it. And some people don't know that, and they think it's unacceptable that you are playing as a rogue or as a mage. No, that's not the thing.
There are so many things where it is just ridiculous. You know, I kind of just phase it out, don't get involved, and just see it and go, all right, okay, whatever. But it's just ridiculous things like you can't not play as a mage in Dragon Age. What are you doing? I've always been a warrior in my first playthroughs, and now I'm more of a rogue person. But it's like, if I'm going to play a rogue, I'm going to play a rogue. Like, developers made this so you can play it as multiple classes. I'm not going to have someone dictate my opinion on Twitter. You know, like, these games are made by so many amazing, passionate people, and there's a person on Twitter saying that I can't do this playthrough because it's their favorite play. Like, I'm sorry, but it was intended to be enjoyed in many different playthroughs and many different ways with many different choices. If some people only want to play the game once, and that's it, that's absolutely fine. If they want to play it multiple times to do the same playthrough, that's absolutely amazing. If they want to romance different characters and they don't like a certain character, again, it's fine. As long as we're all respecting each other, great. And that's what the fandom needs to learn, is just respecting one another's opinion. I never see it in my YouTube comments, because I like to think that the people who watch my videos genuinely can respect each other's opinions, and I know it's more of a social media thing anyway. My space is a place where we can respectfully talk to each other, and that's why my Discord, there are a few issues, but for the major part, full of people who respect one another's opinions. They can agree to disagree, there are no arguments, and it's rarely ever a case where there's been a massive debate and there's been sparks. No, it's you know, people come to this place to respect each other and just talk about Dragon Age, because there are a few places where it's just a safe place to talk, not be toxic, because it can be full of it at the moment. You know, that's the unfortunate thing about we think that when there's a drought, people just start to create drama, or they start to diss people's opinions. But I even think that when Dragon Age 4 comes out, you'll have this mentality, unfortunately. It might even be worse. So people are just like, no, you need to do that, you need to do this. And I think it's just building up, not tolerating it, building up those safe spaces and making sure that those safe spaces are kept safe. You know, it's not allowing that kind of talk. Like, I get it, people can have strong opinions, and you know, it's fine, but at the same time, like, also, if you're gonna have strong opinions, respect that someone else might also have strong opinions. So
exactly. I mean, we're all adults, and you can have
you should be. If you're playing Dragon Age, you should be. I'm sorry, if you're 15 and you're playing Dragon Age, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, I won't say anything. I played Silent Hill 3 when I was 13. That wasn't okay either.
To be fair, I played Inquisition when I was 14, so I'm being a hypocrite, but at least I realised I'm being a hypocrite.
Yeah, I mean, that's one step to the right path.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we are all adults, and I mean, you can have discussions. I mean, you can have discourse, okay? That's
absolutely.
Completely fine, but respect others' boundaries. Just when someone feels uncomfortable and they don't want to talk about it anymore, let it be. Don't get emotional. Don't take it personally. Let it be, and just scroll through.
Absolutely. I attached to Solas. I attached to Cole. Attached to Alistair. All these goofy characters. I mean, Solas isn't goofy, but you know what I mean. But if someone doesn't like Solas and wants him to die, I am not gonna be offended, because I'm kind of confident enough in my own opinions to be like, cool. I respect your opinion that you don't like him. I can see why you don't like him, but at the same time, like, it doesn't change. Just because you feel that way, it doesn't change my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, you can completely dislike him for so many reasons, because Solas can be a completely disagreeable character. Absolutely. If you're not an elf, or if you don't play a certain play style, you know, if you don't care about, like, aspects of the lore, then of course you're not going to get on with Solas. You know what I mean? Like, of course you're not going to like him if you're, you know, it's understandable. I'm also just confident of my own opinions, where if someone feels that way, like, I'm not going to be offended, because it's their opinion and they're entitled to it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
and there
know what
we have it
is.
again with tolerance and acceptance, because this is a perfect example for how to handle such situations.
I just hope that we can build a community that doesn't do this, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I see that I'm doing in my Discord and YouTube space. It's just not having digs at people who have a different opinion. You know, it's basic human principle, I think. Just respecting the fact that someone else has a different opinion. I think if someone can dislike chocolate, then I can see why people will dislike certain things that I love. But it's just having a certain grace and respect where it's not malicious. It's just like, yeah, I don't like that person, but that's fine. Again, I don't see it in my spaces, and that's why I'm really blessed to have an amazing community that are not like that.
Yeah, same. I can totally agree.
Yeah, I think just being aware of that and just trying to minimalize it in your own spaces. You know, if there's any advice I can give to people who are seeing that stuff, there's a mute and block button on Twitter for a reason. You know, like, find those spaces that are comfortable. Find those spaces on Tumblr, and my server, and on YouTube, in any social media platform that you use, where they are safe and that you can have those, you know, you can have those safe discussions. Like, you know, and I know that they are limited because people like to, you know, that it's getting limited with the fact that Dragon Age is far away and not much content on it at the moment. But there are those spaces out there and they're available. And I would say find that, or even that group of people that you know it's safe to talk about your comfort character. Like, find those spaces and just mute and block people. Honestly, if you know, like, just mute and block people. If it gets annoying, just go for it. You know, you don't need to people please.
I mean, I'm happy to have like these little Dragon Age bubbles on social media, and it's like my little internet family that I'm having, because we exchange each other. And if someone has a problem with someone and they come to me like, hey fella, I have this problem, maybe you can help me out because I have some experience with social media. You know, there's always a way to solve conflicts, and I can understand why some people are even afraid to block somebody. I can totally understand this, because not everybody maybe feels upset when they realize, oh, I got blocked. Some people can take it very personally, and then you know what will happen next. And I just think there is a reason, and people just need to learn to set boundaries. I have to learn it for myself as well, because I never really realized that, you know, I haven't set myself boundaries when it comes to social media activity. And now since I'm working on it, and I know, I should avoid this kind of conversation, I should avoid this certain person. It has, you know, even if I don't know that person, I rarely block people. I try to make my own opinion about somebody, but if they get emotional towards me, against me, and in a very negative way, then I say, okay, you know what, I can't have this conversation with you because you're getting very emotional towards me and I feel hurt, you know, and maybe after a while we can re-talk about things. I had such situations as well where I hadn't contact with a person for a while and then we try to rebound and just sort things out. It works really well, but you know, people have to be ready for this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, not everybody's going to get along with everyone. Obviously, that's a human thing anyway, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's realizing that, you know? I think often we do people please and it's just given our nature. You're not going to get along with everyone. That's fine. It's absolutely okay. Maybe,
it's totally fine. I mean, I can tell a funny story here.
Go for it. Yeah.
So I'm friends with someone who we hated each other first. And we didn't really had a conversation. We just disliked each other because of how we interact online. And then we saw each other at a convention. I didn't realize that it was this person, and we came along so good with each other. And then I asked them, "What is your Twitter?" And then they told me, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry, I blocked you." and they said like, "Oh, same. Yeah, let me unblock you." That's so funny.
Oh my goodness.
Such coincidences can also happen, and this is, you know, there you can see how people can act very different
online.
in real life and online. Yeah.
I think it just takes a case of just being kind, being respectful, but also realizing that people are complicated, complex beings, and social media isn't real. And I know that people listening to this anyway aren't those people. They probably share these grievances because they see it and they don't actually get involved in it, and they're kind of just annoyed at it too. So I know we're kind of already preaching to the converted here. It's just annoying. It is, and I would like to just create a friendlier community, a friendlier place where we can just respect, appreciate, and accept everyone, you know, every walks of life, every person who has different opinions, you know. That's what it's all about. That's what, in my opinion, you know, what community is. It's not everybody who has the same opinion. That's boring. It's everybody who has different opinions, but we can all respect and come to those conversations and go, you know what, I don't agree with that, but I see your point of view and I appreciate and respect that. That conversations then are just so much better when you just go, I don't agree with that, but I see your opinion and I see your perspective, and you know what, I've learned something now. It's so cool. You know, I'm not the biggest Blackwall lover, but then people tell me why they love him, what ticks for them, what doesn't, you know, what they really appreciate about him, and I go, you know what, I actually respect your opinion on that, and I see Blackwall differently. While I may have grievances against him, like he kills children, but he's trying to work on his past. He's trying to be something different. And I go, you know what? I don't dislike him entirely. I can understand him a lot more now. And maybe I just misunderstood him at first, and that's why I disliked him. But now I can completely see why he is the way he is. And it's more grounded. You can learn more if you just listen to what someone's got to say, as long as they're not being annoying and arrogant about it. But
to me, it's always interesting when people are choosing a specific race in Dragon Age, or as you said, a romance, or a certain decision, and I'm like, but I don't judge like that, and I don't act like that. Why are you doing this? I want to understand it better. And this is how conversations start, and you can then have amazing conversations, because then you share interests, or you know, just learn the different aspects. And I think this is something, I'm sorry for the noises, I'm living on the main street, so more conversations like that, where we just get to know each other by asking, oh, why have you chosen Blackwall?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so what is it about Blackwall that you like, you know, as opposed to, no, I hate Blackwall. I hate his stupid beard and his, you know, his I don't know, his armor or his voice. What is it about Blackwall that you like? It's like, oh, well, actually, he's pretty, you know, it's just having those conversations, building a nice support system as opposed to building this kind of spiteful, oh, you like Blackwall, or why don't you like Solas, or it's like, let's have those different conversations where it's actually trying to learn stuff as opposed to trying to, like, you know, spite someone, you know, like,
we
I don't know.
We all have different tastes.
I think, shifting gears, what is it like being an artist in the Dragon Age fandom?
I had my bad experiences, but most of them were pretty positive.
Yeah.
I started drawing actively since May last year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
I have made so many great friends through the Dragon Age artist community. It's really great because with art you can also express a lot of your feelings and emotions, sceneries, and your love and dedication to a character.
Abs- a great
So
way to express how much you love the franchise, really, isn't it?
yeah, I would love to draw more, but private life and
Yeah,
having a job, so you don't really,
absolutely.
and now my private circumstances, you know them already, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
really have much time, but
yeah,
I have met so many great people, not even artists, also
yeah, yeah,
writers,
yeah,
or people who just lurk or just share their opinions. This is so sad because I know that some people who are not writing or not doing art, they feel bad because they think, yeah, I'm not contributing much. You do contribute a lot,
yeah,
and let me tell you, there are people out there who inspire me to move on with my art, and they don't even know this. They inspire me because they are posting daily things.
yeah,
They share their opinions, their screenshots, gifs, everything. And this is inspiring, it's motivating, it's uplifting, and I just, okay,
yeah,
I'm getting
absolutely.
very cheesy here, but I
No,
just
it's
want
good.
to, I just want to thank those people who are on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm not on Tumblr, but I think on Tumblr there are people as well who
Yeah,
are sharing so many positive things, so many light things, and
yeah.
creative stuff. It's really, thank you guys, because you inspire us artists and writers with your ideas, your headcanons. And what I especially love is when people are sharing stuff about their OCs. I love that
Yeah,
OC.
yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it.
I was
Yeah.
literally about to ask what is it about the Dragon Age fandom that you like in particular, but it literally sounds like you just covered it there in terms of just the connections you've been able to make
Yeah.
through the fan, and that's exactly the same for me. Really, like there are so many amazing, talented people who probably don't even know it and don't even feel it, but they also inspire me too to create content,
Mhm.
just to even just tweet or just to keep on going and our ideas, so many things that just
Yeah.
really push me. As much as we did talk about how mean and arrogant the fandom can be, the flip side and the thing that we're cultivating is the positivity and the amazing amount of talented individuals in the fandom, and that is what gets me up creating content. It isn't the fact that I am a content creator, or the fact that some of the developers follow me on Twitter, or I get a little bit of money on YouTube. It's the fandom, it's the community. Like,
Mhm.
people ask me all the time, why don't you create videos on other games, or why don't you talk about Elder Scrolls, or why don't you talk about, and I get, like, a part of that is because the YouTube algorithm, it does stick to one thing. I love Dragon
Oh
Age,
yeah.
but also the second part of that is, actually, I like the Dragon Age fandom. I don't create vids for money or for anything else. I create it because I love the space that I'm catering to, and I feel I've got a purpose in that, and that is worth more than money, quote, fame. That is worth more than any of it because it's purposeful, it's meaningful, and
Mhm.
and people enjoy it. For me, it's so wholesome. I know it's cheesy. It is cheesy. I apologize for the cheese, guys, but it's so wholesome that people will have notifications turned on for my videos and they get so excited to watch them. I have that over my favorite YouTube content creators, and to think that there are people out there who I am their favorite content creator and they have notifications on for every single video, that is so wholesome and exciting, and that just continues to invigorate me to create. It's just such a nice feeling that people actually genuinely love my content and will watch every single second of it. Like, and that's what my content caters to. Like, I don't create. It's not about the ad revenue. It's just about the fact that there are people out there who love, and even if it's just like two people who love watching my videos and will just enjoy it as it
Mhm.
is, and that's what makes it for me. Really, it's awesome.
Yeah. Creating content to make others happy is one of my main goals. Okay, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
I
yeah.
sometimes post very angsty drawings. It's just my way to cope with different things. But sometimes I get messages from people saying, "Hey, thank you so much for doing this artwork or sharing your story," or it's very uplifting to see that I'm not
Yeah,
alone with this, or
yeah,
it's great that you post so much Cullen content because
yeah.
there's not enough. And yeah, I'm just happy to provide that and to cheer people up. I'm just very happy about it. I was at a place where I made money with cosplay back in the days, and I realized, well, I did it for the money in first place. It was just people wanted to support me, and so they got like prints as a reward, like signed prints and such.
Right.
But I realized this is so much pressure. I don't want that. I want to create stuff just to make people happy, and I don't really want any money for it. At least, when I do art and people want a certain thing and they want to commission me, okay.
Yeah.
Because then I really put work and effort in it.
Yeah, there's a difference there, isn't it? Like, for me, like, I wouldn't want to do... I mean, I'd have to see when Dragon Age 4 comes out and where I am, in life at this point, but I wouldn't want to make my YouTube hobby a full-time job unless I could see it going somewhere. But I enjoy it as a hobby because it's just fun to have that. You have a full-time job, work there 9 to 5, and then you come home and you have a hobby to do. Making that hobby your full-time job can be one way to just completely burn yourself out and just lose ambition of your hobby. Like, okay, so what are you going to do in your hobbies then if YouTube's your full-time job? Like, then you have to get new hobbies, like, and it's not a bad way. I understand it. I completely, and I think maybe when Dragon Age 4 is coming out, I might do that. I might become a full-time streamer, content creator. We'll see where I am at, But I think at the moment, obviously, the Dragon Age is a desert anyway of content. I think it's just a way to burn yourself out, making those hobbies that you have. And it changes the focus of the hobby too. My hobby now is to, not to people please, but it's to just satisfy myself on the content I create content for myself, but also realize that there's an audience of people who enjoy the content I create for myself. Yeah. Whereas if I was doing it as a full-time job, it's doing it with the ambition of money, the ambition of hitting that clickbait, the ambition of doing it, to beat the algorithm. And that's not really something I want to become. I don't want to become that. Like, you need to know this incredible news about Dragon Age 4, and then it's like a boring piece of information, like a Dragon Age 4 patent of like a vehicle. Like, I don't want to do that. I want my videos to be as specific as possible about it being clickbaity. I don't want to become that.
Quality before quantity.
Exactly. And I think it's interesting really to see, having these hobbies and these this content creation, there's this ambition, but not stretching it too far where you want to burn yourself out.
Yeah, I had this experience with cosplay because I did it like a half-time job, and it really burned me out. I didn't have any motivation to move on, and then I made a very long break. And if I would I wouldn't even consider making art or being an artist as a full-time thing. It's just not it. I need a safe job. And
absolutely.
I think there are people out there who are way more talented, also inspire me, and they are really ambitious, and maybe they can take the pressure, but I can't. That's why I told myself right away, okay, you know what, I don't intend to make this as a full-time thing. Sometimes I open my commissions just so people can commission me if they want a certain piece, but I wouldn't do that as a permanent thing because it's just too stressful for me.
It's too kind of fluctuating too. Like, you might get so many commissions in December, but January comes around and there's nobody wanting a commission. And if it's your full-time job, for some people, they figure it out, they do it. But I couldn't handle that stress personally. Of like I imagine like they have savings, and it's okay if January is a little bit like for example, I know it's not art, but I have a friend who's a magician, and he's a freelance magician, obviously for weddings and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's summer, really busy, but it comes to like February, winter, December, he just doesn't have any work, and so he has obviously savings built up for that. But I just personally, in relation to art and YouTube, unless there is a secure savings or there's a decent indication of income, I couldn't do it. Living in fear of, do I need to crunch myself with videos to get enough revenue? Am I gonna have enough people watching? Am I gonna be clickbaiting? So many other things too. It just wouldn't work out, I don't think. Again, might do it in the future when Dragon Age 4 is like coming out and I can stream and it's exciting content at that point. But I don't think I will ever permanently be a full-time YouTube creator. Don't know where my life's going though, we'll see. But I just don't see it in terms of the stress and also my purpose of YouTube. It isn't to clickbait or talk about it just isn't to be that. It's for quality or quantity. I will spend a week. I could get more videos out a week if I wanted to, but there wouldn't be that quality there. I want to get new fly cams. I want the script to be perfect. I want to have a few jokes in there too. I want it to be good quality content, and not to be arrogant or cocky, but I get the impression it is like that anyway. It should be, at least, because I build it up to that. And I think that if I did do that full time, people would sense the lack of quality. They would be like, okay, Jack's just bashed this out with little effort, or that fly cam he used in that last video, and I mean, he hasn't changed that, or he hasn't edited his audio here, or it's, you just be able to tell. And I think, unless you are burning yourself out making videos every day of that quality focus, you need to adapt to it, and it just wouldn't work out for me at this current point. We'll see where the future goes. I think that's where we can end. Fela, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the Landsmeet and just having a great time talking about the fandom and characters and content creation as a whole. It's been absolutely great to really just sit down and talk to you about all this stuff.
It was very fun. I was very nervous. I think you heard it. I was very nervous, but it was a very, very pleasant podcast. It was very much fun exchanging, and who knows, maybe there will be a second one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows?
Where can people find you on social media if they want to check out your art or any of your content? I have a Twitter account called Fela Draws. And there is a link tree where you can also find my other social media. So yeah. Awesome. I'll have that linked in the description down below. But I just want to thank you so much, Fela, for joining, and everybody else for listening. If you have listened to this to its full extent, you can also listen to the podcast on Anchor on the go, as well as watching it on YouTube. I also have brand new cover art that was just released today. Obviously, this is being released in the future from today's date, but it hopefully is going to be on all of the thumbnails. So yes, there has been a slight design change, but hopefully it is for the better, and I hope that you like it. But yeah, thank you so much, Fela, and thank you so much, everybody else. But until the next Landsmeet, I will see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.